Hello friends, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Why don't you go down and tap the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss any episodes. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. I really do appreciate you. Today's topic is the emergence of Israel, Indigenous Canaanites. Not much else I need to say. Let's get on with the video. Any Christians who are listening to this may not want to hear what I have to say. And that is, Israel did not come from Abraham of Ur of the Chaldeans. The Israelites didn't even exist until the mid-13th, mid-12th century BCE. The traditional models of conquest, peaceful infiltration, and peasant revolt have been overturned by recent archaeological evidence. The consensus from both archaeologists and biblical scholars is that the Israelites were indeed indigenous Canaanites. The only question is, where in Canaan did they come from? The eyewitness accounts of the Amarna Letters give us the conditions in the southern Levant in the late Bronze Age. These paint a picture of class struggles over land, which resulted in a large number of dispossessed, restless people. The Sea Peoples brought destruction upon the Levant, which made thousands of people migrate inland, becoming refugees. The economic upheaval, the chaos of Egyptian rule collapsing, and the domino effect would have made absorbing large numbers of people improbable and maybe even impossible. Access to land is a life or death matter in agricultural communities. Disruptions reached their peak in the 12th century when Merneptah's Israel emerged. But in reality, the entire mid-13th to mid-12th century was marked by enormous upheavals. These local peasants, not imaginary pastoralists, had motive to uproot. In sociology, frontiers are seen as providing a chance to depart from socio-cultural patterns of society. People who accept challenges posed by the frontier are generally men with little to nothing to lose and not much interested in traditional society. This does not imply national frontiers or borders in the modern sense. Most of the Middle East at that time was known as Greater Canaan, and Egyptians referred to it as the land of Habiru. The borders at this time were ecological and changed as the environment changed. Most of this frontier was marginal land, both geographically and perceptually. It was considered remote and hostile even at the best of times. Rautin holds that the landscape and society are dimorphic. That is, it has two basic configurations. Quite unlike the Arabian desert, which is arid no matter where you go, arid and semi-arid lands are sprinkled amongst arable lands in Canaan. Pastoralists who roamed the steppes were and still are in frequent contact with townspeople. Bedouin would not be able to survive if they could not trade with townspeople. All of this points to the conclusion that tribal people could resettle and that settled peoples could retribalize if the need arose. It seems that this happened with the early Israelites. People did not flee to the frontier simply due to intolerable conditions or religious fervor. Instead, They wanted a new society, a new lifestyle. In other words, they wanted to start over. To elaborate more on this thesis, I must first demonstrate that the hill country settlers of Iron 1 had been sedentarized in the lowlands of Canaan. The reasons we see this as the population pool are as follows. In this part of the world, anyone expected to succeed as an agriculturalist on the frontier must have had a relevant prior experience in the land of Canaan. It is doubtful that nomads settling down could do little more than survive. Some may question motive. Quite simply, the peasants were miserable and Canaan was on the brink of collapsing. Villagers and peasants were impoverished and socially marginalized, with little to lose. So, why not go to the frontier? If you're a Christian, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but I must speak the truth. The Proto-Israelites are not one group. The patriarchs, as presented in the Bible, never existed. These people came from a number of different groups, including urban dropouts, Habiru, and other bandits. Some also came from countryside rebels, former soldiers, refugees, and more. The early Israelite Confederation was probably composed of Amorites, Canaanites, Neo-Hittites, Jebusites, and others. Some were born Israelites, while others became such by choice. The glue that held the Confederation together then was ideological, not biological. As for leaders, the Amarna Letters mention Habiru Chiefs. These early leaders succeeded as charismatic military leaders, leaving open the possibility that the leaders and judges, although embellished, may be legitimate cultural memories. I don't mean to insult anybody's intelligence, but in case somebody does not know what a cultural memory is, it is a memory that you may not have personally been alive for. For instance, I'm an American, and an American cultural memory would be the bombing of Pearl Harbor. The Iron 1 hill country villages show evidence of family and clan solidarity. Someone or something must have created this. The hardships and challenges of frontier life would have reinforced whatever solidarity already existed. This was a time of agrarianism and land reform. In ancient Canaan, all public land belonged to the sovereigns. In this new mode, however, the family unit replaced the sovereign as landowners. Despite explanatory power, agrarianism has seldom been brought up to explain early Israel. However, agrarianism is about more than just land. It is a utopian vision. The agrarian reform model is not a repackaged version of the peasant revolt model, if only because there was nothing like the medieval feudal system. Yet, a socio-economic revolution was taking place. This agrarian reform model would explain why the promised land theme was so tenacious, and why the hope for the redemption of the land persisting into post-exilic times. The focus of land possession and of the rural life as the good life runs through the Pentateuch, the Deuteronomist histories, and the prophets. Well, friends, that's it for today. If you like this kind of content, hit the like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. Also, if you would, please leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I love hearing from you, but it also triggers the YouTube algorithm. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.